Hello, Sassy Nari. Thank you for joining me today. I love fashion. Always have. मेरा sartorial sense भी ना over the years improve हुआ है, especially after Instagram started influencing me. But yeah, I do make wrong fashion choices like most of us, and more so because I'm not an expert, okay? But today, I have a fashion expert with me. Benaisha Kharas is a master image consultant and integrated personal counselor. She's passionate about infusing self love and self care in her clients so that they can develop a powerful, influential, and charismatic personality. She imparts skills on the art and science of emotional well being and image management to women, young adults, professionals from corporates, and even fashion brands. Little Fixes का ये फर्स्ट फैशन रिलेटेड एपिसोड है एंड वी हैव कवर्ड अ लॉट ऑफ बेसिक्स हियर. बिनाशा हमें बताएंगी कि स्टाइल क्या होता है, हाउ डू वी फाइंड आवर पर्सनल स्टाइल एंड हाउ टू बैलेंस पर्सनल स्टाइल विद ट्रेंड्स. और हम लोग फैशन की एज अप्रोप्रिएटनेस के बारे में भी डिस्कशन करेंगे. और वेरी इंपॉर्टेंटली बिनाशा हमें बताएंगी उनके फेवरेट बजट फ्रेंडली ब्रांड्स, हमारे लिए वेस्टर्न वार्डरोब एसेंशियल्स एंड इंडियन वार्डरोब एसेंशियल्स. I wanted to discuss a lot more, but time limit stopped us. Anyway, this episode is value packed whether you are a total fashionista or in the process of discovering your style. Do remember that none of the things we talk about here are absolute, so please listen with an open mind and enhance your fashion game. Before hearing from Benaisha, please follow Little Fixes on your podcast app and share it with someone who you think will enjoy it. Hey Sassy Nari, welcome to Little Fixes. This is your host Matri, a social media professional, a mother and a simple yet sassy woman just like you. Join me for 3 simple and practical ideas that help you in transforming into your best self. This mental health and personal growth podcast is a reminder that you matter. And now to our guest. Hi Benaisha, welcome to Little Fixes.
Hi, Maitri. Thank you for having me here again.
Yes, it's a pleasure having you again. I think, did an episode back in 2020. So it's been 4 years.
Correct. Yes, yes.
So now we are talking about fashion, and you help people in being style, image, and fashion conscious, as I was reading on your website. So, my first
Mm.
question for you is, how do you define style?
Honestly, one word of style to me is comfort because I feel like being comfortable is something which is very, very important. Unless and until you are comfortable, you don't really feel very stylish, you don't feel authentic. So, style for me is like a way of expressing oneself through, of course, clothing and accessories, and most importantly, I would even say behavior because it's not just what you're wearing, it's also how you are presenting all of that. And it's a very personal it's a very personal thing style, and you can consider it as an external reflection of your internal self, I would say. So yeah, that's style to
Yes.
me.
Then tell us, what is your style like?
So, frankly, actually, my style, I was just thinking about it the other day while I was just going through my closet, that it has evolved so much. When I started on this journey 12 years ago of being an image consultant and a therapist, I used to dress very differently to the mid of my career and to the current of my career. I think today what my style would be more age appropriate to me. When
Mhm.
I started, I was 19. Today, I'm 33. So it's a lot to do with age appropriation. If you had asked me this question a few years ago, I would say style is more about being in trend and being something that's really fun. But today I'm using the word comfort. So again, of course, it is very age related, I would say. Though as much as people say age is a number, well, sure, it is a number, but it's also a reality at some point. Your body changes, your preferences, your sensories change to your fabrics. You start touching more fabrics.
Mhm.
Start to see if they're more comfortable, how the fit is on you. So today my style would be something that is, I don't like snug clothing a lot. So I
Ah.
like something that has ease, but
Mhm.
not something that's always too wide. So, I mean, even today I'm wearing something that has ease. It does have shape, but it has a lot of ease. At the same time, I would say my style is elegance. I really like things that are elegant, soft, subtle, flowy, drapey, rather than more structured and boxed up. So that would be me.
Mm.
More romantic.
Okay. Yeah, I also like a little bit of oversized things, but it's been like this since I was very young. I don't know. I always wear clothes which are one size bigger, so I never get fat. I always fit. So, Benaisha, you said that your style has evolved. Obviously, it evolves as we age, but you also say that it is age appropriate. So, do you think a 40-year-old cannot wear what a 20-year-old wears?
See, it's not like you can't wear. It's more about, can you always wear? I don't think you can. I don't think you can always dress like, for example, someone, I have younger cousins, okay, so wherein they would kind of be like, dressing very differently to me, even though they're my cousins. We're not
Hmm.
the same age,
Hmm.
right? So she's 15 and I'm double her age, literally.
Hmm.
So obviously there are a few things that will not completely kind of collate, I would say. So I think it's also about being appropriate. Today, when you walk into any store, there are times even today, my mom and I have a 25-year age gap, and there are still things today, and there were even then, back in the day, wherein my mom and I used to pick up the same piece, but we used
Hmm.
to style it in a different way. She would
Hmm.
style it like it's the same shirt, like just about yesterday. She bought this one shirt and I bought the same,
Hmm.
and it's the very same shirt. There's no difference on it. It's just the size that's up and down. But she's gonna style it differently. She's gonna wear it with trousers. I'm gonna tuck it in and wear it with denims or baggy pants or whatever it may be, right?
Hmm.
So I think it's also how you carry it. You can't not wear it because today
Huh.
brands are styling unanimously. It's
Hmm.
not like there are some clothes that are only for the youth. Yes, there are those brands that are there. But by
Hmm.
and large, today, most of your value brands that you do find in the market, they style for all age groups. It's a very large age group that they're styling for.
Yeah.
So you can wear, but it's how you carry, which is the behavior of it and the style of it to put it together, is
Hmm.
uh, is left to you to decide, I would say.
Hmm. So thanks for clarifying that. And Benaisha, do you have a style icon you look up to someone?
Honestly, while growing up, I always saw my grandmother dress up very, very well. And even till today, she's going to be 90.
Hmm.
And till today, like no jokes, she will love to go shopping. She loves
Hmm.
to have matching things and textures to match. And, she's very particular about all of
Wow.
this. And I feel like I'm literally the only grandkid who
Hmm.
picked this up from all of us. And I think because I lived with her so closely, that I think she could be the starter of it.
Hmm.
And but I really, not like I really resonate with her style completely,
Hmm.
but the essence of interest of styling, I would say, that came from her.
Hmm. Hmm.
Being interested in clothes, being my mom dressed very functionally, I would say.
Hmm.
It wasn't good, it wasn't bad. I mean, not good, but I mean, what I mean to say is, like, it was appropriate for her time, but
Huh.
she was more functional because she was. My grandmother also was a working woman, but she had a different work, versus my mom worked in a corporate. So it was a very corporate sense of dressing, which did not necessarily appeal to me as a child, those suits and the jackets and the shirts at that age.
Uh-huh.
Versus I loved my grandmother's dresses and florals and belts and funky bags and whatever of that. Because my grandmama was a teacher, so it was more creative and artistic in that sense. So I think I took that adaptation from it, but as I moved on, I think I really admired Sushmita Sen on screen. Simi Garewal on screen.
Mm,
They didn't necessarily in during the 90s when I was growing up, they didn't necessarily have so much of them. Sushmita Sen, yes, in her movies here and there. Simi Garewal, I only saw on a show, but every time I saw her, I was like, okay, you know what, this lady puts herself so well together.
mm,
And the elegance of white that she always kept on was just really beautiful. So I don't really have like one specific icon that I necessarily always look up to. Like today, I have my mother-in-law who's a fashion designer. You know,
mm.
she's
So she's
renowned.
an icon.
Yeah, she's an icon to a lot of people as well. Her fashion sensibilities are the brands that she has created, I would say, are something that are so organically my style. And this just
Mhm.
happened, it's not because she's my mother-in-law. I mean, I've seen her brands grow because I've literally grown up seeing that. So, but the whole essence of what she creates of that femininity, though her personal style is very different. Her personal style is a lot more classic and cleaner silhouettes, but the clothes that she creates are something that I would say very, very my style. Feminine would be my style a lot more. So I always pivot to it. I try classic and I try being sporty, but I just naturally then pivot to just being more on the romantic, elegant, floral kind of a person.
वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग आई मीन
Mm.
एक तरीका नहीं हो सकता आई थिंक वी कीप चेंजिंग कभी कुछ अच्छा लग गया कभी कुछ अच्छा लग गया
Yeah.
बट मे बी देयर इज सम कनेक्शन एक अंडरलाइंग थीम मे बी इज देयर तो फॉर पीपल लाइक मी हु डोंट हैव मच एक्सपीरियंस विद फैशन लाइक वी सी ऑनलाइन कि हाँ ये चल रहा है तो इस तरीके का ले लिया पर्सनली आई एम मोर इन टू क्लासिक थिंग्स मैं बहुत ज़्यादा ट्रेंडी चीज़ें नहीं खरीद होता क्या है कि जब स्टाइल की बात आती है तो
Mm.
आई ऑल्सो वंडर कि व्हाट इज माई स्टाइल लाइक या फिर इफ आई लुक एट समवन आई ट्राई टू एनालाइज हाँ ये क्या है तो हाउ डू वी फाइंड आवर स्टाइल क्योंकि कई बार क्या होता है कि हम ट्रेंड में कुछ देख लिया वी वेयर
Mm.
इट एंड देन वी
Mm.
डोंट लाइक कि नहीं ये अच्छा नहीं
Mm.
लग रहा तो
Mm.
आई थिंक कॉन्शियस होना भी बहुत ज़रूरी है समटाइम्स वी
Absolutely. Huh?
गो बाय द ट्रेंड्स तो ऐसा कैसे करें कि वी फाइंड आवर स्टाइल एंड मे बी नॉट ऑलवेज स्टिक टू इट बट फुल प्रूफ वार्डरोब की कहीं जाना है तो यस वी नो कि हम ये पहनेंगे तो वी विल फील कॉन्फिडेंट वी विल लुक गुड तो कैसे करें
Okay. So first things first, I think whenever I get this question on Instagram, also people will say, "Okay." So a lot of people write from different parts of the world, and some are like, पर मेरे एरिया में तो ये ब्रांड्स है ही नहीं लाइक ज़ारा तो है ही नहीं H&M तो है ही नहीं तो लाइक द वर्ल्ड इज पोस्टिंग ज़ारा ज़ारा हॉल बट ज़ारा तो है ही नहीं उनकी जगह पे सो दे आर लाइक कि ठीक है हम ऑनलाइन भी खरीदते हैं बट इट्स नॉट लाइक इट विल कम द सेम डे 2-3 दिन बाद आएगा या maybe it's not the right size or whatever it may be
या
and it doesn't look good on them because it's the influencer that they're seeing उनका body अलग होता है हमारा body
एग्जैक्टली
अलग होता है skin types in India we have so many different skin colorations you can't stereotype कि Indians ऐसे ही दिखते हैं
ट्रू
so I think that's another aspect. So I would put it with three A's to start off with. Okay, number one would be authentic. So पहले तो आपको you have to think about it like what exactly is me? Who is me? What is it that I really like? What is my negotiable and non-negotiable when I'm wearing an outfit? मतलब simple things like when I am wearing a low neck top. Is it okay that my cleavage shows or is it not okay? Am I conservative? Am I not conservative? दिमाग से हमको सबको we want to be all cool and yeah I'm open minded but like for example I'll tell you me I'm very open minded in live and let live mentally but physically I'm not okay wearing something which is very deep neck or tube tops like I'm not okay with it and not because I have a problem with it it's just I'm not comfortable with it there's a difference
या
if you're gonna wear it ऐसे नहीं कि I'm gonna tell you कि oh Maitri what are you wearing like इतना लो क्यों पहन रखा है I'm not going to tell you that. I'll be like, oh wow, it suits you. You carry it off. It looks good on you. I just don't feel comfortable. I'll keep on touching myself. I'll keep on putting my hair ahead. I'm conscious.
Yeah, that
Now,
happens.
what can I do to clarify and rectify that feeling is a very different, that's a different story altogether.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to accept कि ठीक है मुझे इसमें comfort लग रहा है कि नहीं लग रहा है. Like, am I okay to wear this or not okay? So authenticity is a very strong ingredient of acknowledging your personal style, I would say. That's one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Understand what are the lengths that work for you, understand what are the fabrics that work for you, understand what are the other aspects of, say, for example, what are the aspects of colors. Some people say, can this color, I just don't like it. It pulls me down.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might be like, nee, but this color doesn't pull you down. This color is something that actually brings out a lot of good aspects of your body, or your personal color or something like that. But it's a mindset of somebody. Like, some people, I get clients who tell me that, oh Benaisha, suggest me anything, but I can't wear the color black at all because my astrologer said no.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, it's very subjective. Again, the authenticity aspect comes in. The next part is being appropriate. So appropriateness is a very important part in day to day, because you have to dress appropriately to the events that are occurring as well. It cannot be a situation wherein you are you have to go for a puja, but you're dressed like you're going for a shadi. But Indian ही तो पहनना है ना, like, but no, even in that Indian there are different types of Indian. सलवार कमीज ही पहन रखा है, no, but there are different types of सलवार कमीज. One is for weddings, one is for pujas, one is for funerals, one is for whatever other occasions that you may have. So I think the appropriateness to the occasion is also a very strong factor. So coming to the aspect of appropriateness to your lifestyle. So does your lifestyle, like, whenever I'm working with clients, I always ask them, what is your day like? What is your week like? What is your typical month look like? So some people may say that, oh, I'm a very social person. Okay, they start off
Mm-hmm.
by saying I'm very social. Okay, what does your social calendar look like? Once a month I get out. That's not social. Right. So in my mind, I'm social as a person. But in my regularities of life, I don't need those so many social clothes as I think I need. So we read these quotes on Instagram and say, just buy the dress, you will find the occasion. नहीं यार,
Yeah.
मत करो, मत खरीदो. Don't do that. It doesn't work, because you're getting into the consumerism behavior. You're buying and buying and buying, and then ultimately you're like, शी यार मैंने तो इतने पैसे खर्च कर दिए, and I've never worn this dress, and now I don't fit into it, or now it's not my style, and now I have to give it to somebody else. And then
Yeah.
that whole experience for you becomes just such a bad thing that you're like, I am just bad at styling, I'm just bad at shopping, I'm just a money waster. And you label yourself on all these things, and then you never get yourself into the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
So, the appropriateness to your lifestyle is also very important. And lastly, I would say the appearance, your personal appearance. So, what
Mm-hmm.
is your body shape? What is your personal color? What are your preferences? So, what are your characteristics? So, in appearance, there comes three parts: your physical appearance, your emotional, cognitive format, right? And the other choices that you like of, I like bold, I like soft. What is it that I really like? So all of those are important as well. For example, if you're a tall person, what are the things that you can wear or shouldn't wear when you're an average heighted person or when you're a shorter person? What are the skin tones that are available, that are there, and what are the kind of clothing that you should wear for the same? So that is a very strong, again, characteristics. Those characteristics are very important in, then finding out what your personal style will really work towards and suit on with. So yeah, I would say it's authenticity, appropriateness, and appearance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and let's say that I like 70s style.
Hmm.
कि उस टाइम पे जो फैशन था मुझे अच्छा लगता है, उस तरीके के टॉप्स पहनना अच्छा लगता है या फिर बूट कट पहनना अच्छा लगता है।
Hmm.
बट कई बार दैट डज़ नॉट वर्क फॉर माय बॉडी टाइप। बट मन होता है पहनने का, या व्हेन वी वियर इट अच्छा लगता है कि नहीं, इतना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है। तो व्हाट इज़ योर टेक ऑन दैट? या फिर जो लेटेस्ट ट्रेंड है उसको फॉलो करने को लेकर, कि हम उसको पहने ही नहीं, या आई डोंट नो, स्टाइलिंग इज नॉट ईजी फॉर सिंपल, सिंपल भी नहीं कह सकती, लाइक ले पीपल लाइक अस। तो उस चीज को हम कैसे करें?
So, a few things here is experimentation. So, what I personally do and I encourage my clients to do is that let's go to the mall. Let's
हम्म,
do one day of no shopping but yet shopping, mental shopping. Okay?
हम्म,
So you're going into a mall and you're writing down कि मुझे ये सब खरीदना है. Like I want to wear boot cut, I want to wear big, big large sleeves. I want to wear big prints and whatever bows and whatever. All of those. Write your specifics of what you want to wear. ठीक है? कि
हम्म,
find a top with large sleeve, find bell bottom pants, find red pants, find polka dot shorts, stripe, large stripe, big plaids, सब लिख दो आप. ठीक है?
हम्म,
Then you get to the mall, you identify the stores wherein कि ये मिल सकता है, right? You go to
हम्म,
these kind of stores and you start trying these outfits. You start trying these looks. And Shanti say you try, huh? Not like hardbody mein or just like putting it on, saying, nahi, yeah, she, yeah, this doesn't look and bouncing out. No. Give yourself that time. Look at yourself in the mirror. Come out of the trial room and look at yourself outside the trial room mirror also, the larger size one.
हम्म,
Sit down, move your arms, do whatever you have to in that aspect also, to see how the fit is from your cross arm, from your hip area, from your bust area, all of those things. Then you may realize that this is actually not suiting me. I'll give you a personal example. I love wearing these mom jeans. I want to wear these mom jeans.
yeah.
Okay. And I want to wear, and I want to, like, they're very like baggy, but they're really nice. I want to wear a really slim top with it. And I always have this thing of how I want to style it. And I believe I'll look really nice in it. Every single time, actually, I've walked into a store and I've tried them in most brands now.
हम्म,
They just don't fit me. So the reason is that my body frame is very differently structured to the garment silhouette. So, for
हम्म,
example, I am someone who has a longer torso, which means from my bust to my hip area, it's slightly more longish.
हम्म,
Okay, and that jean cut, the fork is also very long,
हम्म,
so it does not fit on my hip line, my waistline, and my butt line because उसका
हम्म,
garment ही अलग है. It is for someone who is slightly more wide hipped. It is
हम्म,
also for someone who has a lower waistline, and that is the essence of the mom jeans. And why are they called mom jeans? Because after you become a mom, usually your hips become wider,
हम्म,
right? You have a little more fluff around the belly area for
really,
comfort.
yes.
You need a little more, so you'll wear your pants a little lower, right? You need a little more space in regards to your hip and your butt area because that may have increased after pregnancy, right? All of these, that's the reason it's called mom jeans because your body has changed. Now, I have fortunately, unfortunately, not reached that place yet. So maybe it's not happening for me. But I don't think even after even after I deliver, I would have that because my bone structure is only different. So in
Yeah.
such a situation, you have to accept. You can't be like, TK, I love this style, I love the 70s, and I really want to wear it, but it'll not look good on you, maybe. For example, some people love some colors but
हम्म,
they just don't look good in them because that color doesn't do anything for them. And why does it not do? Because your natural pigmentation is different than the color's pigmentation. Most
हम्म,
people love the color lilac. Most Indians love lilac.
uh-huh,
But penne pe lilac, matlab kitna, it looks so bad on most of us. A very few of us can actually carry the lilac off.
हम्म,
and the reason is the pigmentation of a lilac is very cool versus our
Mm.
body pigmentation is warm. And while cool colors go on warm skin tones, but the lilac is not just cool, it is light also in tint. So the intensity is, a little dull, and the value is a little light, and the hue is cool. That combination may not work on everyone. It may work
Mm.
on some of us. So I think some of it we just need to accept that it does not work for a nat. We can't change our pigment. We can't change our bone structure. We
Mm.
can't change our height. So and we can't always change the garment to match our height. It may not do justice to it. A boot
Yeah.
cut needs to look long. It needs to look long. You need to wear it with a little bit of a boot. You need to wear it with a little bit of a heel. So you have to wear it. You can't wear it with chappals and say chalo chalte because it fits. The glamour part of it doesn't show.
Yeah.
So I would say that in such cases, acceptance is a very strong point of knowing what works and what doesn't. Like, for example, recently also with a client, she told me, Benaisha, I really want to wear large polka dots and plaids.
Uh-huh.
But
Okay.
she's a petite person. I said, you
Mm-hmm.
can wear checks, you can wear plaids. Plaids are the larger version of the checks, right? So I said, you can wear checks, medium sized checks you can wear. No, yeah, I want to wear plaids. ठीक है, so I took her to the mall and I said, chalo, wear this plaid. She only looked at it and she said, yeah, you're right, it doesn't look good on me. I'm not there only in it. मतलब plaid is coming out. आप देखोगे, so it's like the plaid is saying hello to you first and then the girl is coming out. And in
Uh-huh.
some cases, the girl doesn't even come out or the boy doesn't even come out. The garment is only standing out. Then that's not fun. You should be wearing the garment shouldn't be wearing you.
या ओके फिर एक चीज़ अच्छा और आती है इसमें बनायशा कि सोशल मीडिया पे ही बोला जाता है वियर एनीथिंग लाइक कई बार नहीं जैसे किसी ने कोई कलर पहना एंड देर आर टन्स ऑफ नेगेटिव कमेंट्स देर दिस इज नॉट वर्किंग फॉर यू फिर द पर्सन विल से कि नहीं मेरा मन है मुझे पहनना है तो मैं पहनूंगी आई ऑल्सो फील कि ठीक है अगर आपको अच्छा लगता है तो आप पहनो
Hmm.
राइट तो वट इज योर टेक ऑन दिस
I see this very often on like influencer pages wherein they wear all these really out and glamour things, and then they receive these comments, like you said. See, when you're in a point of power, like an influencer, okay, like today, for example, your podcast, you have a point of power wherein people are listening to you, and you are influencing them through your conversations with people, right? So I feel like there is some level of responsibility, one, and then there is some level of acceptance of opinion from others that may also come. For example, today you and I both are in the point of power. So whatever I'm saying, say a viewer writes to us and says that, Benaisha, I don't agree with what you're saying. I have to be okay with it. ठीक है, I understand, I respect your point, I understand your point, and I am taking that into consideration for my next podcast, maybe somewhere else. Maybe not. I agree or I
या
don't agree, but I'm acknowledging them. I dismiss a person by saying "मेरी मर्जी." When we say कि मेरी मर्जी है, I'm dismissing you. I'm not accepting their comment. I'm literally saying कि boss तुम अपना देख लो, मैं अपना देख लूँ. Like I don't care of your comments. Then in that case, you are not coming as a positive influencer. You're coming across as I'm here to showcase my world, you take it or leave it. Then that does not become a good characteristic, in my opinion, in just my personal thought. So in such a situation, there, like for example, I fortunately don't get trolled or have these kind of comments that much, uh, but and my clothing is also very realistic day to day. It's not like I'm wearing red carpet garments anyway. But there was once a point, a video I'd made on oversized clothing, and someone commented saying, no, but I like to wear such clothing. I said, that's wonderful. It may work for you and your body type. Unfortunately, for me or the likes of me, it may not look well. And you leave it at that. So I didn't say ke ठीक है, but it's my choice or my thing or my theory, because that is where I feel like that my now becomes a little off. That's again a personal thought. So
Mm.
if at all there are people who, and yeah, honestly, today, Maitri, there are some influencers, and even I see them, and I'm like, ठीक है यार, just because brands are sending stuff to you doesn't mean you choose everything.
Uh,
Know, that moral responsibility, like I have a lot of brands too that write to me, and I don't get myself into this because I don't want to endorse a brand which I don't personally wear. I don't want to endorse a brand because it's just getting me money, because that's not my bread and butter. I mean, I'm a
mm.
consultant,
हाँ,
I'm not
that is
an
also.
influencer, right? So for me, it's not my bread and butter, and I understand that. But at the same time, when I'm suggesting a product to somebody, it needs to be a very unanimous value that everyone can benefit from it.
Yes.
So I think that responsibility all of us need to make. Like when we tell people, don't wear this and wear this only, there are so many people who only follow that very blindly.
हाँ.
So in whenever I write something, or whenever I put a reel out on clothing or something, I'll have a footnote there, or I'll have a voiceover will say this will work for this body type, and if at all you are another body type, don't try this out.
Mhm.
Because see, I'm one body type only, and I in my profession, fortunately or unfortunately, sometimes you don't have your clients who will do reels with you to show you how it
Yeah.
looks, because they want to remain anonymous to that fact, which is
Mm.
fine. So every time I can't get different body types necessarily from people. It's
Mm.
not it's not easy to constantly show that style out.
Mm.
So I think that's my take on it. I hope I've
Mm.
answered you in some way.
या आई वुड ऑल्सो से कि ठीक है, अगर आपका मन हो रहा है आप ट्राई करके देख लो, एंड उसके बाद फिर आप ही रियलाइज करो कि हाँ कैसा लग रहा है, आर यू फीलिंग गुड इन इट, आर यू लुकिंग गुड इन इट, आर यू फीलिंग कॉन्फिडेंट कंफर्टेबल, बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स है जैसे आपने भी बताया। तो आई थिंक वो काफ़ी इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। और फैशन को कई बार लोग डिसमिस कर देते हैं, जिसको सुपरफिशियल मान लेते हैं, कुछ भी पहन लो इफ़ यू आर अ नाइस पर्सन एंड दिस एंड दैट इज़ ऑल्सो ट्रू एट सम लेवल। व्हाट इज योर टेक ऑन दिस डिबेट कि अपीयरेंस अपीयरेंस तक है, कैसे पर्सन हो आप ऑब्वियसली दैट इज डिफरेंट, बट कैसे आप अपने आप को प्रेजेंट करते हो, क्या करते हो, वो ज्यादा मैटर करता है। और मुझे ये लगता है कि इफ आई वेयर समथिंग गुड आई फील मोर कॉन्फिडेंट, और आई प्रेजेंट माई सेल्फ डिफरेंटली ऑल्सो।
Hmm.
वॉट डू हैव टू से अबाउट
Okay, I'll give you an example. ठीक है,
दैट?
अगर मैं आपको ग्लूकोज बिस्किट ऐसे ही सुपरमार्केट में रख दूं, लेबल पैकेजिंग के बिना, वहां पे 4-5 बिस्किट ऐसे रख दूं रैक पे, आप खरीदोगे?
नहीं,
नहीं ना। क्यों नहीं खरीदोगे? मतलब
बिकॉज हमें
बिस्किट तो
लगेगा
बिस्किट ही है ना, अच्छा ही
है,
है,
बट
पार्ले जी ही है।
हाँ, बट आई थिंक दैट हैपेंस विद ऑल ऑफ अस कि पैकेजिंग अट्रैक्ट करती है, एंड यू वी मेक एन ओपिनियन बेस्ड ऑन द पैकेजिंग, चाहे जितना भी बोल लो डोंट जज अ बुक बाय इट्स कवर।
Correct, correct. So the thing is, if today, if if at all we were all, say for example, without our packaging, how would we be different? How would we be speaking our minds artistically? For example, if today a biscuit or a soap or a detergent gets differentiated depending on its packaging, हम लोग पैकेजिंग देख के बता सकते हैं और अज्यूम कर सकते हैं, बता भी नहीं सकते, हम अज्यूम कर लेते हैं कि ये अच्छा होगा, ये महंगा होगा, इसकी खुशबू अच्छी होगी, इसका कॉम्पोजिशन अच्छा होगा, ये हेल्दी लगता है, ये अनहेल्दी लगता है, मतलब हम
या।
इतने कंक्लूजन्स में आ जाते हैं सिंपली बिकॉज ऑफ द पैकेजिंग, राइट? So imagine humans. So what happens is that today, if all of us were dressed in white shirts and blue denims, uniform ही होता है ना स्कूल में, it's a uniform. But how do we stand out? Now, uniform in school, in army, navy, air force, in all these places is important because the focus is on the task.
यस।
उनका गोल ही अलग होता है, ये institutions का गोल ही अलग होता है. तो you're not thinking at that time about कि आप कैसे दिख रहे हो. You're thinking about the task orientation. बट इन द अदर स्कीम ऑफ लाइफ, जैसे कि ऑफिस वर्क or college or other aspects, you are looking to develop personality and connections. And
Mm-hmm.
whenever you're wanting to develop personality and connections, what is important is a characteristic expression of yourself. So, for example, today when you are going out there and presenting yourself in the corporate world, अगर आप सिर्फ शर्ट और जीन्स पहन के आते हो, there will be a stereotype कि ये तो बंदा ऐसे ही है. You're wearing a
Mm-hmm.
suit and trousers, or you're wearing a blouse and trousers, and you've teamed it up with some accessories, then you'll have a different representation because you're
Mm-hmm.
showcasing what you're interested or involved in.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say that as much as we say that don't judge a book by its cover, or for the fact that the personality of a person is very important,
Mm-hmm.
बट पर्सनालिटी अपीयरेंस भी आता है उसमें. ऐसे नहीं कि उनका सिर्फ
Yeah.
कम्युनिकेशन आ जाता है.
Mm-hmm.
Like today when people are going to just listen to this podcast, they are not necessarily seeing you and me in it. Some of them may, some of them may not, depending on where they're listening to this podcast. But by
Mm-hmm.
just listening to our voices, they have formulated an image of what Benaisha must be wearing, what Maitri must be wearing, what are they really looking like, and putting a picture to it. Because that
Mm-hmm.
picture is very important. Very, very important, because that's how we think. That's how we are. That's how our
Mm-hmm.
sensory works. So when somebody enters a room, the first impression is what gets them the second opportunity. Or rather, let me correct myself. The first impression is actually what gets them the first opportunity only. Second opportunity aati to baad mein hai. It gives them the first opportunity. Because when I'm entering a room
Mm-hmm.
and when somebody sees me, right, they are looking at me from head to toe and they are saying, अच्छा, this girl, उसके बाल कैसे है, या उसके बाल अच्छे हैं, और उसने क्या पहन रखा है, oh wow, what is she wearing, very nice, right? So all these are quick instant things that come to our mind. We take 3 seconds to form the first impression about a person, and that is a stamp that stays on. हम जितना भी इसको try to erase कर दे, but like, when we are giving all these like testimonials in life later on, we say, first when I met this guy, मैंने तो ऐसा ऐसा ऐसे उसके बारे में सोचा था, पर अब अभी 10 साल के बाद और आज उसके शादी के दिन, this is how I feel about him.
Yeah.
We hear so many such speeches. That is
Mm-hmm.
because that first impression will never go away. It may be changed,
हाँ.
but it doesn't get erased. And clothing plays a very important part, because जो दिखता है वही बिकता है, और कपड़े ही दिखते हैं, कम्युनिकेशन नहीं दिखता है, वोकैबुलरी नहीं दिखती है, बॉडी लैंग्वेज दिख जाता है. So all of that is a culmination of non-verbal communication. Your clothes have communication, your body language has communication, and they speak to you, to the opposite person, and to yourself, of course, which then comes to the point of wherein you said that, if I dress up well, I get confidence.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
of course you will.
Even if you, I think, do get a chance to make a second impression, it will be a lot more easier अगर आप पहले ही चांस में, पहले ही इम्प्रेशन में प्रेजेंटेबल हो, इम्पैक्टफुल हो,
Hmm.
और आपके लिए मे बी आगे की अपॉर्चुनिटीज या आगे के इंटरेक्शंस थोड़े से इजी हो जाएंगे.
Correct.
ओके. तो हमने थोड़ा सा फिलोसॉफिकल एस्पेक्ट डिस्कस किया फैशन का. नाउ आई वांट टू डिस्कस अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ प्रैक्टिकल एस्पेक्ट कि बिनाशा, आर देयर एनी essentials, जैसे बोला था वाइट शर्ट, वाइट टी शर्ट, ब्लू जीन्स, तो आर देयर एनी essentials इन इंडियन वेयर ऑल्सो एज वेल एज ऑब्वियसली इन वेस्टर्न वेयर? तो हमें बताइए कि मान लीजिए 3-4 पीस ऑफ क्लोथिंग हमारी इंडियन वेयर वार्डरोब में होने चाहिए, जो और जो हमारी वेस्टर्न वेयर वार्डरोब में होने चाहिए.
Hmm. So let me start with Western wear. So I think in Western wear wardrobe, what are the must-haves is a good pair of black trousers, a good pair of blue denims, medium to darker shade, a good pair of you know gray or beige flats shoes, a brown and a black belt, neutral color tops such as white, beige, light blue, light green, baby pink, because these are the colors that go for most skin tones. If you want, you can have a blue and a white striped shirt as well, say we have cotton or a linen fabric. A denim jacket, lightweight denim jacket, is something that is also good as to have. A nice canvas tote, I would say, is a bag which kind of goes with all types of styles, most types of styles. Um, in terms of prints, I would say it differs. Like you can have small checks blouses, or you can have floral patterns, or you can have polka dots. But again, these are very personal to some.
Yeah.
So I think these are a few staples that one could have. Shirts, blouses, skirts also, A-line dresses or shift dresses. Um, if you need a blazer, then yeah, maybe a beige blazer, off-white, not beige, off-white blazer, because that will work on all skin tones if you don't want a black blazer. But at the same time, you want a color. So I think these are a few staples that one can start their wardrobe on.
I was
And
mentally auditing my wardrobe while listening to you.
so these are a few things. Of course, t-shirts, good t-shirts, not just for workout positions, but just generally also. And, a pair of track pants, like gray track pants or beige track pants,
Mhm.
which you can wear at home as well. So I think these are a few Western staples. Indian, to be honest, I think Indian in itself is a personal style. And
Mm.
Indian in itself is, doesn't have like only classics or basics. They always will have an element of, the cultural aspect of it, because
Mm.
it's a cultural kind of clothing. But of course, having a well, a good cotton sari with a good border, a good printed border would be very nice. Blue and white combination, because again, that will go for most skin tones. Or red and black and white combination, that will also work for most skin tones. Or green and blue combination, that will work for good all skin tones. Having, medium length kurtas with straighter trousers in pastel colors without it being see through. I think those would be something that would be really interesting to have. Avoid having very large prints. A lot of times in my clients' wardrobe, I mean, I had a client whose wardrobe itself was just prints. Like a whole Indian wardrobe was just filled with prints. And she's like, मैं थक चुकी हूँ ये सेम चीजें पहन के. I'm like, आपने प्रिंट पे प्रिंट ही पहन रखा है, मतलब आपका कुछ सॉलिड है ही नहीं. So
Mhm.
having a good amount of solids to match then your printed. For example, you can wear a full solid kurta and pajama and take a printed dupatta, and
Mhm.
that would just be the highlight of the look. Just the printed dupatta. Or say for example, you're taking a solid again, salwar kameez, but you're taking a different texture dupatta, you know. So I think like a velvet dupatta, say maybe, on a raw
Mhm.
silk outfit. That would also look very stunning because of the difference of textures.
Yeah.
So I think in the Indian closet again, it depends what you're wearing. The Indian looks for, but having a good blend of solids is very important. So creams and whites, beiges, lemon yellows, powder blues, powder pinks, um, reds in some formats, navy blues, are colors which again are vibrant at the same time, wardrobe neutral colors that work around the Indian palette of prints as well. And
Mhm.
whenever choosing prints, I would say to everyone, when you're confused about prints, just always go with small to medium prints, because
Mhm.
they usually work with every single human being, no matter how small or big you are. But the minute you start to take on like one big flower coming from your left chest and then one big flower coming from your right abdomen area, those will not work for you.
Hmm.
Because no matter which size you are, even if you're a big human, big boned human, it will look bigger
Hmm.
on you. The flower will look bigger because they have stitched the garment with a little more fabric. तो आपका फ्लावर
Uh-huh.
थोड़ा बड़ा हो चुका है naturally, right? So and for a small body the print is so big but the fabric उतना है नहीं, so it just
Hmm.
doesn't look good, and
Hmm.
while we call them bold prints, every
Yeah.
bold print needs to be with a solid and muted other aspects of accessories also. So we can't have like an animal print kurta and then an animal print juti and an animal print handbag and an animal print dupatta. I mean, मतलब animal भी ऐसे ही नहीं दिखते हैं, you know. So I've seen actually people do dress like that. So
Hmm.
those become like a little over the top and unnecessarily trying to be very bold and sassy, but it's actually not.
हम्म। तो हमारी तो पॉडकास्ट का मोटो ही है वैसे सैसी नारी होना एंड वी इनफैक्ट हैव अ सेक्शन कॉल्ड सैस इट अप व्हिच आई विल कम टू इन अ बिट before that I have a lot of questions but we are running out of time so I'd like to end with knowing some of your favorite budget friendly brands.
Okay, so my favorite budget-friendly brands. So the value brands that I really like are and Global DC, of course. I also like Uniglobe.
Yeah.
Um, Forever New is something that I like, but that's again a personal style because that's a very, it's very feminine personal style.
Yeah.
Cotton World is a very, you know,
Underrated, I would say,
it's
because
it
I love their stuff. When you go in, you
yeah.
would buy something, you'll not come out without buying something.
Yeah, so I think Cotton World is fabulous. Like, I mean, honestly, their quality of t-shirts
Hmm.
is fabulous. Mango has reinvented themselves as well, so that's really good. H&M has now, over a period of a few years, started using sustainable fabrics. Like even at and Global Desi, there are a lot of sustainable fabrics that have been used. I find these value brands pretty interesting. I know Zara is not really on the list. Zara is, for me personally, sometimes a hit and a miss. I do like it, but then um, sometimes in India, you don't really get the fits and the cuts. What you do get, like, for example, here in Dubai,
Yeah.
or what you get internationally. Um, and I think that's a bit unfair. But yeah, so these are some of the value brands that I personally
Okay,
like.
okay.
Yeah.
And now coming to the sassy bit. Sass it up May, I would like to ask you, ki, what's the sassiest thing you have done, Benaisha?
Oh, my entire career, I think. I never thought I would do this because I was literally the client before. Like, I needed all of what my services are, I would say.
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's sassy, but I make and mention, like, for example, back in the day when I decided I was the youngest image consultant in India who was internationally certified for a very long period of time, for
Mm-hmm.
almost a good 5 to 6 years. And then, of course, a lot more younger. I started growing older, maybe. And, but, during that period of time, I really optimized on, going into global markets. And that was a good 7 years ago, I would say, from today. And I actually wrote to a bunch of people in the Middle East today, where I live here now. But yeah, I actually wrote to a few people saying, this is what I can do for you. I wrote to a few retail brands. I wrote to a few schools and corporates here to, for my image consulting services. And I think that was a pretty bold thing for me to do because
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Nee, yeah, what if they don't reply?" But when it came to this, what I told myself was, "ठीक है, if they don't reply, they don't reply. what is going of mine. I'm just sending a LinkedIn email kind of a thing. And honestly, that actually that was something that got me a foot through the door, and I think that really turned around for me. I started doing a lot of work here. Then, of course, I moved to the States for a brief while, but now I'm here in Dubai. And had I not done that, I wouldn't have understood the dynamics of this UAE region, back then. And it's been almost 7 years now that I've been doing work globally,
Mm-hmm.
even before the pandemic and Zoom came about. So, yeah, I think going global was a dream, but I didn't take the dream as an intimidation. I took it more as a chalo dekhte hai,
हाँ.
attitude. So I don't know if it was sassy, but that's
It
the
is. It's a very difficult thing to do. One of my last guests, she simply said that she started saying no. That was the
yeah,
boldest thing she did. So I think
correct.
छोटी चीजें ज्यादा बड़े changes लाती हैं. Like it's still very difficult for me
Absolutely.
to reach out to people because कई बार क्या होता है कि you see someone, they are very famous, they are huge in your eyes,
Mm,
and you are like नहीं करते, and when you reach out to them, they do reply, they do get back. तो
yeah.
कई बार नहीं भी करते हैं, but I think it does not depend on your scale, जैसा कि कई बार लोगों को लगता है. That depends on the kind of person you are. So I know it's very difficult to reach out. I have been doing this podcast for more than 4 years now.
Yeah.
So yes, that's a sassy thing to do. And before I let you go, Benaisha, please tell us more about the work you do and how can people connect with you?
So the easiest way to connect with me is my website. Um, there is a WhatsApp button there. You can get in touch there. You can block any packages that you want or services that you want, and you'll directly reach out to me. You can write to me on my email, which is benaisha@benaishakharas.com, which is also available on my website. I would say you can take a chance on Instagram, but the only thing with Instagram is that Instagram is pretty tricky. It's sassy in its own way. It kind of hides some messages, and I see
Yeah.
them and they pop up after like a few months, and I'm like, oh my god, but like this message came to me today, but I see that the person has written it like 3 months ago. So I
Hmm.
think those are the easiest ways to get in touch with me. And what is it that I do? So I think a typical session in regards with image and style for me is I have various packages. So I do counseling as a psychotherapist. So my counseling is one to one. It's a 1 hour session over a Zoom video call. Um, and we can talk about anything that is that you need to work towards in your personal life with your mental space. Yes, sometimes clients have also used this session to kind of just get to know me better to see if they really want to invest
Hmm.
more in the package and see how it really goes. So that's the initial one session, which is of 1 hour. And if you need more of consultation, then you pay as you go. When it comes to image, there is a package called Quick Fix. So that's a 3 hour package wherein I give you an e-look book, a medium size e-look book, wherein we understand as to what exactly is your personal body shape, your personal coloring, your lifestyle. But it's more like a quick fix. So it's not going so much into depth, but it still gives you a good amount of idea on how to get started. I give you a pictorial representation in the lookbook, which tells you what are the kind of tops you should wear, bottoms, what are the kind of handbags, sunglasses, glasses, hairstyle, makeup,
Wow.
nail polish, all of the work. So it's almost like a 40-50 page book that you kind of get on what you should wear.
Mhm.
And then if you want something more extensive, um, we have something called the image inside out, wherein we do all of what we do in quick fix but a little more in depth. So I would explain to you a little more details of what is corporate dressing if you need it, or depending on your lifestyle, what kind of dressing do you need, what are the more colors, how to pick colors, how to mix and match accessories, We also do, if you take on an add-on, as wardrobe evaluation and personal shopping. And of course, in all of this, it's not that one glove fits all. So
Right.
customization is something that I'm always doing for a client. I've done event, work with couples who are, just styling them for events. So it's just purely styling oriented, not going so much into the image management of things. And complementing to the fashion bit of it, we like I also touch upon communication skills, body language, time management, stress management, because all of those also build up one's image. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, pretty much the soft skills and the image aspect is what gives a more holistic look and feel to the individual. And yeah, and this is all done by me, so it's not like I'm outsourcing it to other people as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so that's great. And it was lovely speaking with you, Benaisha. I learned a lot. I audited my wardrobe already. Now I'm going to see what I have, what I need to buy, and what I can give away. So thank you, Benaisha, for your insights and for your time.
Thank you, Maitri. Thank you very much.
अगर आपको ये एपिसोड वैल्यूबल लगा तो प्लीज हेल्प लिटिल फिक्सेस रीच मोर पीपल बाय शेयरिंग इट विद समवन यू केयर अबाउट. यू कैन ऑल्सो गिव अस अ शाउट आउट ऑन इंस्टाग्राम. मेरा हैंडल है @littlepixelspodcast. दिस हेल्प्स मी इन ग्रोइंग द पॉडकास्ट और बहुत सारे और लोगों की हेल्प भी होती है इसको सुन के. आई एम ग्रेटफुल फॉर योर टाइम. अब मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वेडनेसडे को. तब तक के लिए खुद से प्यार करते रहो और सदा सैसी रहो. बाय.